Stephen A. Smith unleashes on Angel Reese in a shocking takedown. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark emerges as the WNBA's last hope. Stephen A. Smith's voice cut through the chaos of the roaring crowd. Angel Reese, once celebrated for her dominance and eye-popping numbers, suddenly found herself being torn apart on national television. This wasn't just criticism, it was a dismantling. Piece by piece, Stephen stripped away her flaws while holding up Caitlin Clark as the gold standard. And just like that, the WNBA was thrown into its latest storm of controversy, with the drama spilling everywhere. This is the reality. What happens when raw talent collides with raw emotion under the spotlight of the most powerful voice in sports media? Stephen A. Smith just delivered what might be the harshest reality check in WNBA history. And right now, Angel Reese is facing perhaps the toughest week of her career. It's not just about one bad game. This is about public takedowns that leave scars, viral clips that flood every feed, and Twitter storms that don't stop spinning. The drama isn't just brewing, it's spilling everywhere. Before we dive into Stephen A.'s fiery response, let's first break down just how bad things have gotten.
It's not about black and white, it's about that white player and that black player. Why? Because of the history that they had before they came to the WNBA.
To be fixed, and I don't give a damn if I get fined because that shit cheap, and I am tired of this shit. Because I've been nice and I've been humble with it, but I am tired of this shit.
Back a little bit. You can't want to be the villain. You can't pride yourself in being the villain, and then you lose, and all of a sudden you succumb to those.
The Chicago Sky's season isn't just tough, it's a full-blown catastrophe. With the second worst record in the league at 5-13, the numbers speak for themselves. And while Angel Reese has been busy flaunting her stats, chasing double-doubles, and giving her fans plenty to cheer about on paper, the bigger picture tells a much darker story. Behind the scenes, the locker room is fractured. 7 losses in their last 10 games, tension bubbling for weeks, and a team that looks more divided than determined. Instead of stepping up to rally her squad, Reese seems to be moving in the opposite direction, fueling the fire rather than putting it out. So when the collapse finally came, nobody was shocked. It felt inevitable. What should have been a thrilling finish against the Washington Mystics turned into a nightmare unraveling in real time. The game was tied at 77. Moments like this are when true leaders rise, but what we saw was the opposite. Shakira Austin's on the other end, Reese is fouled and calmly sinks both free throws, tying the game once again. For a brief moment, it looked like she might rise to the occasion, maybe even silence a few critics. But with just 30 seconds left, disaster struck. Chicago committed another foul, sending everyone back to the bench. That's when it happened. In a crucial huddle, Crosby, one of the franchise's most respected voices, stepped in with a clipboard to lay out the strategy. Instead of listening, Angel Reese slapped the clipboard right out of Crosby's hands. No discussion, no respect, just raw frustration on full display. Immature, reckless, and caught in front of everyone. And then came the worst part. No accountability, no apology, just a silence that said more than words ever could. Instead of facing the issue head-on, Angel Reese rushed to Twitter. What she posted might go down as one of the most tone-deaf responses in WNBA history, her words dripped with irony. In her tweet, she wrote, "A special thanks to Anne, who refused to accept my apology because she knew it wouldn't happen again and understood it was just an emotional moment." Rather than easing the storm, Reese's tweet poured gasoline on it, turning a bad night into a full-blown controversy. And to make matters worse, Reese laced the tweet with emojis, treating the whole thing like a joke. That's the real problem. She didn't just brush the incident off quietly. She cursed about it, shifted the blame onto Anne Crosby, the very person who had been disrespected, and acted as if knocking a clipboard out of her vice president's hands was somehow funny. That isn't remorse. That isn't accountability. That's a player doubling down on her worst behavior, fueling the storm even further, all because she was already the center of attention for the wrong reasons. What should have been a defining moment instead unraveled into immaturity, and a public masterclass in what not to do. The most outrageous part? This wasn't just one mistake. The clipboard incident was merely the climax of a downward spiral already in motion. Less than 48 hours earlier, Reese had exploded at a post-game press conference. Instead of breaking down her performance or talking strategy, she turned her fire on the officials. It was a full-on meltdown, threats, foul language, and an outburst that overshadowed everything else. What looked like an ordinary situation turned into a public airing of Reese's private struggles. And just when fans thought the chaos had reached its peak, Stephen A. Smith stepped into the spotlight. Reese was loud, but Stephen A. didn't just match her energy, he shattered the dial. He didn't respond, he dissected. One by one, he ripped apart her justifications, her attitude, and her entire game strategy. Nothing was spared. Then came the words that shook the WNBA to its core. Stay in your lane. Simple, brutal, devastating, but Stephen A. wasn't finished. He went beyond Angel Reese herself and took aim at something bigger, the very culture she represents. A culture of jealousy. A culture of unprofessionalism. A culture where chasing attention matters more than chasing wins. And then came the final blow. While Reese was busy smashing clipboards and firing off reckless tweets, Stephen A. turned the spotlight toward Caitlin Clark, the player rewriting the WNBA in real time. And he didn't just speak, he brought the receipts, stats, records, cold, hard proof. His case was bulletproof, according to Stephen A. Clark isn't just a player, she's a walking billboard, a human highlight reel, and the foundation of a future sneaker empire. And whether you love her or hate her, he's right. Just by stepping on the floor, Caitlin Clark has already rewritten the WNBA's entire playbook. The numbers don't lie. Without Clark, WNBA ratings sink below 400,000. With her, they skyrocket past 1.1 million. That's not a bump, it's a threefold collapse without her. The league leans on her that heavily, and yet, night after night, the WNBA has allowed her to be hacked, elbowed, cheap shot, and even body slammed, more by players trying to send a message than trying to win. Instead of protecting the one player keeping the league afloat, they've turned her into a target. Yes, Angel Reese included. The impact was immediate. The moment Clark went down, ticket sales dipped. Viewership cratered. Merchandise stopped moving. The bridge she built between the WNBA and millions of college fans suddenly collapsed. That's when Stephen A. delivered his final, vicious blow. I told you so. And he wasn't wrong. His words echoed nationwide, but Angel Reese, and her loyal supporters, refused to face that truth. Because this isn't just about one bad night. It's not a single emotional outburst. It's something deeper, a pattern that keeps spilling over. Character matters in professional sports. You don't just play for yourself. You represent your league, your team, your sport, and your entire organization. That's exactly why Stephen A. Smith didn't just call out Angel Reese. He ripped the mask off her entire approach to the game. While Reese burns bridges, Caitlin Clark builds them. She pulls in new fans, connects with college audiences, and pushes the WNBA further into the mainstream. Reese, on the other hand, chips away at the league's credibility, one sideline rant, one reckless tweet, and one public meltdown at a time, and worst of all, she still paints herself as the victim. To Reese, everyone else is the problem. The media has an agenda, the referees are against her, and the world is out to get her. But the truth is far simpler. You either get on board, or you get left behind, Stephen A. said. Right now, the Caitlin Clark train is at full speed. And Reese? She's not in the driver's seat. She's not even on the train. She's stuck on the platform, shouting at the conductor while the game passes her by. That infamous clipboard incident wasn't just bad judgment, it was the perfect symbol of why her style of basketball hurts more than it helps. Disrespectful. Ineffective. Counterproductive. Until Reese learns emotional control, shows respect to her teammates and staff, and locks in on what truly matters, winning, she'll remain what she is right now, a walking headline for all the wrong reasons. But now I want to hear from you. Was Stephen A. Smith too harsh on Angel Reese? Or did he finally say what nobody else had the courage to? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget, the next story is even bigger. If you love following the biggest sports controversies, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.